You're inside the press box. Christian FM Sports presents Inside the Press Box, where we discuss all sports from our favorite high school team to college and pro. Here's your host, Paul Tipton and Gary Paris.
Well, hey there, Vero Nation. Thanks for joining Gary and I in the press box as we're getting ready to head into Week 11 of high school football. Week 10 had Vero Beach on the road for second week in a row. This time we're down in Port St. Lucie to take on district rival Treasure Coast Titans. Titans coming in winless, Vero Beach undefeated. Talk about polar opposites and exactly what we expected happened. Vero Beach comes out, wins the ball game 49-0. It was a dominating performance by the Fighting Indians from the word go. Vero Beach took the opening drive, went down the distance, 9 plays, 59 yards, and scores a touchdown. And from there, Gary, it was just a matter of time before we could get to the end of the game.
You know, Paul, this is two historical teams that have been in this history of our program. They've been combative with each other. They enjoyed playing each other. It came down to that Treasure Coast game, who was going to win the district and who was, and it was a great battle for many years. It was a fun battle.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have called all those games, and I can remember just the extra point going over the bar,
right.
and we won. I mean, it was it's those kind of games that make you exciting. So when last Friday night, as we broadcasted the game, and I saw Coach Jones, Irvin Jones, down on the field walking, around. And he's been their legendary coach. He's been there for probably, I think, before Lenny got there, didn't he?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I want to say it's probably about 20 seasons now.
Yes,
yeah.
and so I looked down there and I thought, wow, where have they gone?
Yeah.
Where have they gone to? What has happened to Treasure Coast? And you and I thought about this. It was a one-sided game. Vero dominated in every aspect of the game. Vero Beach only had to run 35 plays to get 49 points.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is good with our defense, did a great job too. But where has Treasure Coast gone? What's happened? And you and I were talking about this earlier, is that its open enrollment has been a terrible friend to Treasure Coast. It's a bad friend.
Yeah.
It's a bad friend because if you've got a skilled player or a quarterback or somebody that linebacker or defensive back or whatever, you want to go get exposed to a different school level, you can come to the Vero Beach. Matter of fact, we had a couple kids that transferred from Treasure Coast to Vero Beach.
Our linebacker, Lance Stone, and then our kicker, Swanson.
Yes.
Were at
Riley
Treasure
Swanson,
Coast last year.
Yeah, and so it's happening all over the area with this open portal. But the game, you look back and you say, okay, well, now it's, that's part of the game. It's how well you adjust. That offense that he runs is not appealing to kids anymore.
Yeah, it's certainly for certain skill positions. I mean, like if you're a quarterback that you primarily want to throw, yeah, that's not your offense. If you're a wide receiver, yeah, not your offense. If you're a running back, okay. If you're a lineman, an offensive lineman, maybe, yeah. But beyond that, no, not much.
No, it wasn't. It was a dominant game. Vero Beach goes out and does its job, did its business. It won. Lenny emptied the benches in the second half of the running clock. And like I said, we only ran 35 plays and we scored 49 points. It just shows you how big a dominance Vero Beach was on that game. They're 0-9. Vero Beach is 9-0 right now. And my hats off to Lenny and his staff getting his team ready to. Doesn't matter when you play Treasure Coast, they run that funky offense. That's a single wing. No one else in the area runs it.
Oh, wait a minute. No, there's one team that runs it. No. Our JV team runs it.
Our JV team. Well, that's me. I'm part of that. And that was because we had an injured quarterback, and we had to make some adjustments, and so we didn't have a throwing quarterback, so we had to go to the run.
Hey, well, you still ran it, and you won with it.
We won with it, but again, teams weren't used to seeing a JV team run the wing T.
Right? Yeah, no, yeah, and I mean, I commend you guys for doing that, and figuring out, okay, what works best with the players that we've got. And truthfully, Gary, I think years ago that's what Irv Jones for Treasure Coast did. The players that he had, he was like, look, I can run this type of offense and I can score. And his big, the big keys to that offense is two things. One, we're going to try to own the time of possession, and make it difficult for the other team's offense to have any real time and put pressure on them, make them anxious, and then have a really good defense, which they've been able to do for several seasons. Yeah. But as you said, I mean, for whatever reason, whether it's been injuries or just the open enrollment situation, this season in particular has just not been good for Treasure Coast football.
Do you remember several springs ago? Spring games.
Yeah, I know
we
where
had
you're
a
going.
scrimmage. We have a game. We had spring games.
Yeah.
And one year, we Treasure Coast. I think we played a half. And
we had one of those little jamboree styles. Yeah.
Treasure Coast comes out with the spread offense. Mm-hmm. We're all looking at each other. You and I are in the booth, and we're going, "What is this?
Right.
What is this? This is a new."
Which is funny.
It was, but that was just something. You know what? He did that to see if he could make it work. Mm-hmm. He already knew that he was going to run the single wing T,
right?
But he came out and gave everybody a look, especially us, of what they can do in the spread. Yeah. It wasn't very successful.
No, it wasn't. But, the one thing I'll say about this, you and I've talked about this before. We have a real high respect for Coach Jones.
Amazing.
The ability to sell the kids on this style is not an easy thing to do. And he's done it over the years. He was successful with it. And of course, when you're successful, it makes the sell job easier. But now you got to wonder, okay, a couple of things. One, is Treasure Coast going to stay with that, or are they going to keep their coach? Is we see a coaching change here? I don't know. I hope not. I hope they'll give Coach Jones a little bit of grace and latitude here to at least have another season to see if he can make it better or whatever. But one thing I don't like when you talk about this whole open enrollment thing is, like, in particular, our area teams now, we're seeing a little bit of a weakness or a fall or drop off, with the level of competition, because, the teams that are successful, the programs that are successful, those players are on these other teams. They're like going, I want to go there because they win. I want to go there because I might get a scholarship opportunity, get some exposure, as you said. And I really, I have a hard time with this because I would love to see the level of competition come back up, not just for Vero's sake, but just overall for the overall fan base of the Treasure Coast area.
Well, it all started out to give a child or a student, depending on what level of grade that he or she's in, was for academics. It all started
we
out
always know how that works.
academically, yeah. And so when you start out doing that, you give the kids an open enrollment to go to the school they want to, and the next thing you know, well, if you can do it for academics, well, why can't we do it for athletics?
Of course.
And the courts had to go along with it.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it's open enrollment. There's no, you can't necessarily dictate what's the reason behind it. If you've said it as open enrollment, it's open enrollment.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's really kind of changed a lot of things around our area, from Port St. Lucie, Martin County area, all the way up here into Indian River County. It's just changed things a lot.
I want to read you just one half of the stats. Just one half. Okay. Shows you how dominant Vero Beach was over Treasure Coast in the first half. In total team rush, we rushed 8 times for 69 yards. That's the first half. Mm-hmm. For 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
White had 5 carries, 41 yards, and those 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Hillsman had 3 for 28. Now, here's the passing stat in the first half. E.J. White, was 12 for 12. 12 for 12.
Nice.
For 168 yards.
Wow. 2
touchdowns, and no interceptions. We had 6 different guys catch the ball. And the most receptions was Woods. The most yardage in the first half was by Hillsman, the running back. He had a touchdown. And Stinson had a touchdown on a beautiful screen pass they threw to solid to the outside.
Oh, my gosh. The blocking was phenomenal on that play.
So they had 20 plays in the first half for 237 yards. That's nearly 12 yards for every play. The total stats at the end of the game was 35 plays. So that's 15 more plays the second half because we had a running clock.
Yeah.
And it was 347 yards, almost 10 yards a play. And that includes with the running clock all the way through the game.
How about this, Gary?
All right.
15 plays in the second half. He had 3 touchdowns in the second half.
yeah. I mean, it was a beautiful night if you're a Vero Beach fan.
Yeah.
You love the way it executed. You got a lot of people involved in it. And I thought the coaching was phenomenal. I thought Lenny called a good game, which he has all year. And I'll tell you what, part of the deal with what made Lenny to me was, I think, his best coaching job since he's been at Vero was he lost Mons in the first game.
Yeah.
Second quarter of the first game. Then he has to bring out E.J. and E.J. White, who's been a wide receiver for the last 3 years. Just every now and then a little bit of a shotgun or where they put him back there and he can run the ball. Wildcat. And but he had to come up with a scheme to make this young man productive and to keep his offense in tune. And what he did was been phenomenal. The way he has brought guys in motion, getting guys to. Anytime you bring a guy in motion, you're trying to get a linebacker or somebody to shift over so that maybe possibly you can throw that slant pass or whatever it may be.
Right.
He had to be creative enough to get those involvements and everything. And then the look at made him a running back by look like he's going to throw the ball, takes his steps back, looks down, pumps the ball up. He sees those, puts the brakes on the safeties, and the linebackers start to possibly drop. That gives him with the lead block of Hillsman right up the middle, or the side up to right side or left side. It was phenomenal to see what Lenny did with his offense with the talent. And coach, not to say that you weren't a good coach all those other years, but I thought this was the best year, the way you schemed with White, E.J. White, and your offense. And then especially I look back at Buchholz bringing in Crutch.
Yeah.
And having White just lay that ball up 3 times to him for a winning touchdown.
Yeah, no, you're right, Gary. And I'll tell you, the other thing that's impressed me too is having EJ come in and take over, the quarterback position, and how he has basically accepted the role and the responsibility of it. I mean,
his teammates,
they're loving him.
They love him.
Yeah.
He's won the team.
Yeah.
He's their leader out there on the field and in the locker room and practice it all. His work ethics is so good, Lenny has told you and I.
Yeah.
He really wants, he listens, he studies, he watches film. He and Lenny work together so well this year. So my hat's off to both of them. But I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, you lose your star quarterback who's going to be great, and then all of a sudden you're now having to think, okay, this kid has talents. I got to bring it out of him now. And that's why I thought this has been a great job by Coach Jankowski.
Don't disagree. So with that win, Vero now officially has won the district. They went 3-0 in the district this year, and so they are district champs for District 11. Region 3, for those of you who may or may not know how this all works, so as we are working our way towards the end of the season and now postseason's about to kick in, you've got 4 regions that make up our Class A playoff brackets, and Vero's in Region 3. That represents 4 different districts for each region. And so you've got 9, 10, 11, and 12 that make up Region 3, and Vero's in number 11. And so with that win on Friday night, officially, they had already pretty much had it all locked up before the game, but we just wanted to wait until they won this game to officially declare them the district champs. So congratulations to Coach Jankowski, his staff, and all the players for taking care of business on Friday night with a 49-0 win. They are now district champs, and if there was any possibility of doubt, which there really wasn't, they are definitely in the playoffs now. They are the top seed in the playoff bracket. They're also the number 1 overall team right now in the power rankings for Class 7A. We'll have this week, the new power rankings will come out. I don't necessarily see any changes. The only potential change, Gary, that we might see, you've got DeLand and Spruce Creek that are in the same district. They still got to play in 2 weeks. They've got to play a game. It's a makeup from a game earlier this year that got postponed due to weather, and that is a district game. That possibly DeLand is the favorite in that ball game. They were already up 14-0 when that game was stopped. They could potentially leapfrog Vero Beach, but even if they do, that the worst case scenario, Vero's number 2 overall. And that still allows Vero Beach to have home field advantage through the playoffs. So that's good news for all of Vero fans, because that means now we've got, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 potential games that we could watch Vero Beach at the Citrus Bowl.
Well, to win that region is very, very important to be number 1, because remember I told you I don't like the polls up until they count. And then when you start counting this, when you start watching and looking and see. And you want Vero Beach to be, if we're number 1 overall, then we would have the playoffs all the way through the semifinals games. We would have 4 games at Vero Beach if we're blessed and strong enough and good enough to get that far. Which I think this team has the potential to do that.
Yeah, and as I understand it, Gary, even if we're at number 2. Yep. We still would have home field, because as they get down to the final 4, and I know we're getting way, way ahead of ourselves here, but just for the sake of conversation, whatever the last 4 teams are, so whoever's ranked number 1 would play the lowest seeded team. Whoever's number 2 would play the next lowest seeded.
Exactly.
So like if you just wanted to do it 1 through
1, 4, 2, 3.
Correct. If we wanted to put it in those terms, for sure.
So you would both 1 and 2 would have
1 and 2 have home field advantage through the playoffs.
Game.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
At this stage right now, worst case scenario looks like to be that, like, if we're number 2, we would still have home field advantage.
I like it.
So yeah,
I like it, and this gets ready for us to play SomerSet on Thursday night.
Yeah,
and it's a team that's it's played a very tough schedule. They're 4-5, but they played a very they played a very competitive. I'm not sure their class level. I don't even know that. I think it doesn't matter, because
it doesn't really matter.
But they play.
They're a smaller school, and they played some tough teams. They just played number 5 Central just last week. Miami Central, yeah.
And Miami Central beat them 39-0. They're a team that likes to run the ball. They got a decent passer. They will submit a challenge, I think, to Vero, but I think Vero Beach will outman them and outplay them, because Vero has a week off like most schools do the following week.
Yeah.
So you want to get this game, you want to make this one count, you want to wrap up your season, be 10-0, and now let the whatever's going to be.
Right.
Nothing you can do after that.
Right. And I can almost feel like there's anybody listening to this podcast right now might have that question. okay, well, you talked about the playoff bracket. Do you know who we might play in the first round? Right now, it looks like Lake Nona will take that 8th seed spot, and that's who we would play here at home, which we played them last year in the first round and won that game. So that's our potential opponent. But again, there's still a couple of things that may or may not change the bracket, so we can't officially say what the bracket's going to look like.
We won't know until after the playoff, the open date, rather.
Correct.
Is finished.
Right. Right.
Because there's some games in that regulate some positions some teams might be.
Totally. I mean, right now, our particular region looks pretty secure. But again, when you don't know the full algorithm, if you will, of how this all gets put together, because they won't tell you all of the parts of that equation, it's hard to know for sure if this is going to stay the way it is or could it potentially change. So right now, potentially, we could be playing Lake Nona, and so that would be the game, but doesn't really matter. You got to play any of the teams in the bracket to move on. So and when we get there, we'll get there. But first, as Gary said, we got to take care of SomerSet this week, and a little bit of a short week because we're playing on Thursday, not Friday. But again, the way this team has been preparing, the way this team has been rolling, Gary, it's hard to. I mean, obviously, you have to be the favorite when you're the number one.
I want to get a shout out to Bill Mata and his defense. I mean, his defense has just done a fantastic job.
Oh, awesome.
Shut him out this past week. Mm-hmm. Pahokee held him to 13 points. It's just been a great run.
Do you know, Gary, I didn't realize this till I was reading something that Treasure Coast, the deepest they got was the 30-yard line, our own 30-yard line. That was it. That was the deepest they got. I didn't
know that either.
I was like, wow.
Shout out to Bill Mata and his defensive coaches. Wow, what a great job.
Yeah, so, all right. Well, I'm tempted to bring up the whole lacrosse argument, but I'm going to leave that one alone. Please
don't. Please don't.
Hey, by the way, congratulations. Your Dolphins got a win.
Was that what that was? Oh, I enjoyed that. I mean, it was like, it was the first time all year I was going, whoa, where'd that come from?
No kidding, right?
Where'd that come from? Whoa, look,
you got 30 points on the board?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, but 2 wins are better than none.
Well, that's true. That's true. My Niners lost, so, I'm a little disappointed, but my Hurricanes won, so I'm good there. So,
we didn't play.
You didn't.
Florida didn't play. Florida didn't play.
What's happening in Tallahassee?
We had an open date.
Right. But
we didn't lose.
I mean, boy, the hot seat's really cooking there, man.
Yeah. It's been like you just mentioned before we went on air, and 9 coaches have been fired already this year.
We haven't even got to October 31st yet.
Brian Kelly led LSU just got let go, and so now they
I really feel like it's becoming a sad state.
It is. And it is, and I tell you what, you go out and you invest all this money in players you expect to win. Yeah. And that's the bottom line is to coaches now. Is that, hey, look, if I'm going to spend $40 million to get players, then I better win.
Right. And
if you don't, you're in trouble.
Well, you're spending money on players. You're spending a lot of money on coaches now, too.
Yes.
And, and that has changed the expectation level significantly. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole season plays out. And, some of these vacant spots will probably get filled here in the next little bit, or at least some. But I mean, I don't know, Gary. It's become such a weird state of affairs in college football anymore.
Absolutely. And you know who hurts the most of all this is high school kids.
Yeah.
High school kids, especially high school offensive linemen, defensive linemen, because they're looking now for instant starters,
right? Instant
backups that have played a lot of games or whatever. It's hard to develop a high school kid. You spend 3 years getting him ready. His third year, you get him out there on the field and and then you have him for 3 years as a starter. But
Yeah.
it's not like that anymore.
No, it is not. It's totally different era of athletics for sure. So, all right, Thursday night ball game for Vero Beach. We'll wrap up the regular season. We got SomerSet Academy coming out of Pembroke Pines. That game will start at 7 p.m. on Thursday night. Make sure to note that because we'd love to have you out there on Thursday night at the Citrus Bowl. Game time, 7 o'clock. Our coverage, obviously, will begin an hour ahead at 6 p.m. with Countdown to Kickoff presented by Cap's Pizza. Gary Parrish, Paul Tipton, thanks for joining us in the press box. As always, go Indians.
Thanks for joining us inside the press box. For more, go to ChristianFM.com.